water resource management as a discipline
Yeah,
is embedded in civil engineering
that's right.
in most universities
That's
out
right.
there.
Yeah.
But this discipline of water resource management itself is a fairly broad
Oh,
discipline.
incredibly broad. Yeah.
So let's unpack that for the audience.
Yeah.
Okay, what are all the different elements of water resource management when we say water resource?
Sure. Well, I'm probably not going to do it justice because it is quite broad. So at the University of New South Wales, we have almost a small but separate campus or lab where there's and it's beside a dam or reservoir. So we have large scale hydraulics type experiments,
Okay.
and we do a lot of dam engineering there. And in Australia, well, around the world, let's say, there's climate change, and the historic design of dams was designed for a certain climate, right? And that climate has changed, and the extremes are changing. So we now we're looking at redesigning many of the dams in Australia.
Mm-hmm.
So we do large scale physical modeling. In 2011, in Brisbane, which is a major city in Australia, there was significant flooding, and at that time there's a series of dams. In Brisbane, in series, and Brisbane flooded, and that cost billions of dollars of damage. And there was a recognition at that time that to go through or following that incident, to go through and look at all the dams. So we have the Somerset Dam right now at the University of New South Wales, a large-scale physical model. So it's let's say 10 meters by 10 meters. And looking at the topography, looking at the flow across it, and energy dissipation. Really, what absolutely has to not happen, is a dam cannot fail. Right?
Yeah.
It cannot fail.
Sure.
So we need to make sure we get that right. So when water comes over a dam structure, there could be scour or erosion on the downstream end.
Sure.
And that could lead to the dam failures. So we do a lot of work around that. So that's one area. I could get carried away. That's just one area. So another big area we have is hydrology, and broad scale hydrology.
Mm-hmm.
And that might be around rainfall. We do a lot of rainfall prediction, and then so because of rainfall, then that obviously leads to precipitation and surface water and groundwater runoff and flooding potentially. So how do we predict that? How do we develop mitigation measures? How do we plan for it? How do we have early warning systems? We also would have strengths in coastal engineering.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say in ports, we would do a lot of work broadly in port design, shoreline erosion. Chennai, I haven't been to here in Chennai, the waterfront, but I do. Hopefully tomorrow I'll get there. But you could have shoreline erosion, and there's a lot of population right beside these by the shorelines, and specifically. Potentially, I'm not sure here in Chennai, but let's say in the Pacific, as an example, there's many of the islands could be susceptible to, let's say, storm surges and inundation. So how do we control for that? How do we mitigate? How do we have early warning systems? And especially now with a change in climate.